What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Deathstroke from DC Rebirth. And so here we have the McFarlane DC Multiverse Deathstroke pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through what he comes with. Deathstroke does come with two accessories. We do get a broadsword, which looks really nice. It fits in his right hand and it does store on his back. He also does come with a knife, which also fits in his hand and does store in its scabbard. He also does come with a McFarlane display stand, which is the standard for all McFarlane figures. And other than that, he doesn't come with anything else. I would like to see a firearm on this guy, but with regulations as they are, yeah, we're not getting it. So with that out of the way, let's actually get a closer look at Deathstroke. And so here we have a closer look at the McFarlane Deathstroke, and overall, this Rebirth outfit is very well done. I did not expect McFarlane to go as far as they did with this figure. I know I don't really say this much, but McFarlane didn't have to go so hard with this figure. It is beyond amazing. I absolutely love the details that Deathstroke has on him. You can see his helmet does have some panel lining on it, and these lines are actually raised up. They're not sculpted in, they're not just there for they're not painted on, they are actually sculpted lines, and I do like it. He does maintain the standard dual-sided mask that Deathstroke is known for, where we have the black and then we have the orange. I think the eye could be done a little bit brighter. It is done in this really dingy gray. I would have expected like a brighter white, but I do like the detailing here on his helmet. It looks very nice. That is a very good paint job on his eye. And again, the helmet looks very nice. It is symmetrical in terms of the panel lining, but of course, because he only has his left eye, the right eye is completely covered. It looks really nice. And then we do have the tassels coming out in the back, which that is done very nicely. These are soft plastic, and unfortunately they're not articulated, which that is a bit of a shame. I would like to see articulated tassels. As far as the rest of this figure goes, there is a bunch of sculpted detailing on it, and I absolutely love it. If you guys haven't read the Deathstroke Rebirth, this is a kinetic costume where it actually absorbs impact and disperses it throughout the entire suit, so he can take more of a pounding. It's virtually bulletproof. It looks very nice, and it has a lot of nice detailing here. You can see there's some cross-hatching right here in his chest. We have some line work going throughout the outfit right there. We have some more cross-hatching right here on his side. And then we have some more over on this side. On the back, you can see more texturing, detailing right here, and then where his sword does go. I kind of wish he came with a scabbard, but hey, this works too. It holds the sword pretty nicely. On his right arm, you can see it's just the black sleeve, but we do have all this really nice line work on it. It looks fantastic. They did an absolutely great job with it. Just look at the detailing in it, works perfectly. He does have his gloves, which are orange, fingerless gloves with black fingers. I don't know why I said they're fingerless, because they actually do have fingers on them, but they do look really nice. This black patch, even though it's not the best paint, you can see there's some edging to it that could have been done better. It still looks good. Onto this left side of his torso, you can see he does have a change in texture right here. He has almost like diamond scale right here, which looks fantastic. The detailing on it is perfect. I absolutely love the way it looks. I really wasn't a fan of the Rebirth suit when it originally came out, but it actually grew on me as I read the Deathstroke issues. One issue I do have is right here on the bicep. The sculpt work does get a little bit lost, because instead of sculpting this in orange, they sculpted it in this white color, and then they painted the orange, where they kind of applied the orange a little too heavy, so it did get rid of some of the detailing. But this diamond scale is still there. We have that same line work on this arm, where you can see it's just done in white. Then we do have his glove, which is mirrored from the right hand. We do have a utility belt with a silver, well, not really silver, but gunmetal buckle right here, along with his utility pouches, which those probably hold ammo. They hold smoke bombs, other things he might need, survival kit. You can see he could have come with another knife. Just pointing that out there. He has another scabbard. They could have easily given us a second knife. More pouches right here on the side, looking really nice. Then we go on to his legs, where he has this really nice Kevlar weave right here on the outside of his thigh, which looks nice. Then we have like some plating right here on the inner part of his thigh. He does have buckles going across his legs, and if you guys know the Rebirth suit, he's supposed to have a firearm right here on this side, but McFarlane could not include it. However, I do have the munitions pack, which does solve all that issue, so it's not a big deal for me. Really liking the panel and pipe lining here on his costume. It is very good. On this side, you can see he does have his scabbard with his hunter's knife here, which I do have it inside. It looks very good right here. The DC Essentials one came with the scabbard and the knife, but it was one solid piece. Here we actually do get a removable knife, so I do like that. Then we go on to his boots, or his shoes I should say, where they look like they just strap on. As you can see, he has the orange tips right here on the soles of his feet. And then we do get a little bit of texturing detailing here on his underside. So really good detailing on Deathstroke all throughout the costume. It's one of my favorite looks for Deathstroke. I think out of all the looks, the classic look, New 52 and Rebirth, this is probably my second favorite. I think the classic one is the best one, and New 52, even though it's nice, it's a little too busy. This kind of goes back to a classic feel for Deathstroke in terms of simplicity, but it is still a very nice figure. McFarlane absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed and compare to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Deathstroke posing next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Deathstroke posed next to a WWE Elite Collection figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Deathstroke posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have the McFarlane Rebirth Deathstroke posed next to the DC Essentials Rebirth Deathstroke. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at Deathstroke's articulation. Now, Deathstroke does have a double ball joint in the head, which does allow for some really impressive head movement. He can look up very far, and he can look down very far as well. So we get some really good range here on that ball joint. Tilt, very fantastic. Left and right rotation, no problem. He does have butterfly joints here in the shoulder, so those do pivot forward and back. I do want to point out, use caution when moving the left shoulder, because McFarlane committed the ultimate cardinal sin with action figures. They painted the joint in his shoulder. They should have just molded that in orange plastic. I don't know why it's painted, but yeah, you do want to heat that up and then pop it out before working it. I did apply some shock oil on mine and it's still a little bit tight, but yeah, it'll loosen over time. But yeah, just be aware that that joint is painted, so use caution when moving it around. So speaking of which, it does move around nicely. Again, mine is just a little bit stiff. I did apply some shock oil, so that'll loosen up over time. Arm does go out to the side really nicely. We do have a very stiff bicep swivel. We have a double bend here at the elbow, giving us some really good range there. We have a ball hinge here at the wrist, so that does move in and out, or up and down. Then we can have in and out hinge, just depending on how you have that joint situated. It is a little bit stiff on mine, but yeah, once you get it as you want it, it'll move as you need it. So just keep that in mind, that you do have to work it just a little bit, but yeah, it moves fine. We have a ball joint here at the torso, so he does lean back to about right there. He crunches forward. Oh wow, that is some really nice crunch. I do like that, and that's just with that upper ball joint. Side to side, no problem. Swivels at the mid-torso. Waist goes back about that far. Doesn't go too far forward, but yeah, that is a really nice crunch even for that top ball joint. We do have rotation here at his waist. Legs do kick forward to about right there. They kick back out to the side, no problem. He does have a stiff thigh swivel, so do keep that in mind. We have a double bend here at the knee going to about that far. It does appear that his knee curves at an inward angle. Yeah, his knees actually curve inward, which is surprising. I don't know why they even do that, but yeah, interesting thing that they curve inward. But anyway, he does have a swivel here at his ankle, a hinge which goes forward and back. Of course, we have forward facing pin for rocker ankle, and that gives him a true rocker ankle as well. And then finally we do have a toe hinge. So overall, pretty good articulation here on Deathstroke. It's really impressive. I'm actually surprised with how good this articulation is. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Deathstroke posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Deathstroke posed for my final thoughts, and overall this is an exceptional figure by McFarlane. Now there are some issues that we got to talk about with this particular version of Deathstroke. Painted joints. It is never okay for a company to paint joints on a figure. I did realize that his wrists were also painted, which is a cardinal sin. Those joints don't need to be painted. If they are, they run the risk of breaking, as well as the shoulder joint. That should be molded in orange, not painted orange. Overall, I still think those problems aren't enough to dissuade me from saying that this is a very good figure. McFarlane went above and beyond just sculpting and detailing this figure, and I have to say it is one of the better McFarlane DC Multiverse figures out there. If you guys were on the fence about getting this version and you were happy with your DC Essentials version, I would strongly recommend you upgrade to this McFarlane version. I think he poses much better, much easier than that DC Essentials figure, and the proportions on this Deathstroke are a little bit better. I know the DC Essentials had proportions that a lot of people didn't like. If you didn't like that original figure, this figure is right up your alley. I love the dark black that they went with. It's very fitting of Deathstroke, and the orange is a nice vibrant orange. It is so nice to look at. The detailing in his outfit is another thing that you can appreciate very nicely, or very good if you look at his costume. There's just so much to like about this particular figure. It's very hard for me to put it into words of how impressed I am with this figure. If there was one thing I could improve on, it would be not painting those joints and actually molding them in orange, as well as giving him a firearm. I would have liked to see maybe a machine gun or a handgun. That would have been really nice. But again, that's not McFarlane's call. That is DC and Warner Brothers. Now, if you do have this figure and you have the munitions pack, that does cover the need for a firearm, and Deathstroke here will look very good with just about any firearm you give him. Overall, I really do recommend this Deathstroke, and if you are looking for him, Amazon does have him in stock at the time I'm making this video, and he is starting to hit stores as well, so be on the lookout at your local Walmarts, Targets, Walgreens, and again, check Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, and sites like Entertainment Earth. So with that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.